Hey there, SMITE fans. Welcome to the patch notes. It is, well, a wonderful Friday, and it's going to be Awilix. At least that's how we think we say her name. My name is Hi-Rez Bart, and, well, this lady, I know how to say her name. That's Hi-Rez Kelly.
Oh, I'm glad you know how to say my name.
I do.
Really embarrassing.
I'm pretty good at some things. There's a few things that I'm good at. Your name, tops the list.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Everyone, I hope you are excited for the patch notes. It's been a long time since we've been sitting here. The last time we had patch notes was during the EU regionals.
That's right. Yeah, we're actually in a new room since then, aren't we?
That's right. So pretty and nice, and I got this terrifying cat right next to me.
Yeah, Suku.
Suku,
as it were. So this patch centers around Awilix. She is the latest addition to the SMITE God roster. She is an assassin, fairly mobility-based assassin again, coming out of the Mayan Pantheon this time. The first true assassin out of this set, Hunbots, obviously was formerly Sun Wukong, so really the first true Mayan end-to-end assassin. Have you played her?
I have not, no, but I'm excited to. I like her model, I like her kit, and we didn't really get a in-depth look at her kit yesterday during the dev talk, so today we're going to go more into her numbers, everyone. I know you guys are excited about that. And we're going to talk about a few skins, new voice packs, and then some balance changes. Yeah,
she's pretty strong, at least in my my play with her, I think. She's definitely a lot of fun to play, if nothing else. If you see my Twitter, I do talk. Been talking the last couple of weeks about how I think this is one of the more fun gods that have been added to the game at some time. So, that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start taking a look at these gods. As per usual, we won't be talking too much about Awilix specifics until we get into the game client, but we will open up with the new skins coming into this patch, and there's a caveat to this. We'll get to that at the end of them. Let's take a look first at Awilix, her god card, if you would be so kind, my friend. Young Kevin in production. Yeah, just cover up, Kelly. We don't need her anyway.
Whatever.
There she is. Awilix. You can see the purple elements and kind of those purples and greens, very reminiscent of the Mayan Pantheon, and SMITE especially. She looks a little bit like a chalk kind of. I
feel she's like Serket and chalk mixed together.
Yes. The brown skin and the abs, very reminiscent of chalk to me. Awilix's recolor, of course, as well. The Blood Moon. Let's take a look at that one.
Ooh, that card though. Oh, and her it's now a jaguar instead of a panther. I like that.
Look at that.
Oh, even her cat gets a reskin.
That's pretty sweet, and like her eye makeup and everything. This looks like a neat one.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good recolor.
Haven't seen this one in game yet. Looking forward to seeing that one. So we have some new Odyssey items coming into the game as well, guys. What's important to note is that the remainder of the Odyssey items will be coming into the patch, or into the fold rather, with this patch. The first of which is Neith, another entry into our pirate skin line, like Pirateer and Sobek. There she is, Neith.
Look at that. I think that's the most clothing she's ever had. And she gets a monkey too? Or is that just part of the image?
No, she gets a monkey too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Ampersand for all you Why the Last Man fans out there. And does not come with swashbuckling young men tied to a mast as shown. That is not actually part of
what a shame.
Skin. We have another. This one is a. You guys know about this one? It was kind of a community voted skin.
That's right.
Nerd Rage Kabrakan. Let's take a look at that card, if you'd be so kind, my friends.
Oh, look at it.
Oh my God! Look at that.
It is perfect. And
Otaku Kraken.
Oh yeah, the effects, the animations, everything about it. Like people are gonna love this skin, and they're gonna love Kabrakan with it. And I mean, Kabrakan's kind of been slowly making his way back into the meta.
I love Kabrakan.
Yeah. What do you call him? Fat Loki.
Fat Loki. Yeah, Fat Loki. Burst based kind of single target damager. And look at his D20 there that he's slamming off the table. What a great skin that one is. And, of course, that finally does leave us, well, the rest of the Odyssey items that are coming in. And this young gentleman here whose silhouette you may recognize, who is that Pokemon? All remaining Odyssey items will be revealed on Monday, guys. So we have another show coming up where we'll be taking a look at all those skins you just saw in-game, as well as some more Odyssey content that we're not going to go over today, as well as the Angelic Thanatos skin full reveal in-game. It's really amazing.
That's right. If you guys aren't aware, if you purchase all 21 items in the Odyssey, you get this Angelic Thanatos skin for free. I believe someone calculated it out to 8,100 gems, but that's for each individual purchase. You also get chest rolls. You also get
all kinds of stuff.
Unique items, loading screen cards, all these great things by purchasing through the Odyssey, and every purchase in the Odyssey goes towards the prize pool of the SWC.
Get us to 2 million. We're 1.73.
Oh, we're totally going to make it to 2 million.
Yeah, I think so. So that's really what you should take out of that is there's a lot of cool skins coming, and that Monday you want to tune back in here to the SMITE Game channel at 4 p.m. where we'll be going over all of the rest of the Odyssey content, all kinds of really great stuff, and of course that Thanatos skin. So Monday, but today here Friday Patch Notes Day, we do have more stuff for you, of course. So let's go ahead and move into our next segment, Kelly. Voice packs. Why don't you take us through this?
Well, of course, Awilix is going to get her own voice pack, as well as the Angelic Thanatos, Neith, and Nerd Rage Kabrakan are both going to have their own voice packs as well.
Of course they do.
Yeah, of course.
In addition to that, guys, we do have a new god rotation with this patch. What? Raise the roof.
Ooh, I like this rotation.
It's Zeus, Tyr, Bacchus, Cupid, and Loki. What do you like? What do you like about this rotation?
I feel like it's reminiscent to when the gods, back when warriors were still OP and Zeus was OP. This is like that old.
This is like who you would have wanted back at like 6 patches ago.
Yeah, and also I've been seeing people play Cupid a lot more.
Cupid, yeah. Definitely like a bursty hunter style player. A little weird with his hearts though. It's kind of strange. Like he like drops HP. Like how does it all work together in the lane? But I saw a little support.
Support Cupid, solo Cupid. We've seen a lot of solo ADCs recently.
Yes, and you do put the E before the U in Zeus. Often. That's what some people do. This is actually the ancient Greek spelling of Zeus. So technically, you're actually all wrong out there, and we were right.
Get wrecked.
Zwez is a strong character. Hashtag blame Brad, guys. Let me see him, please. Well, God rotation done. Emotes are up next, Kelly. We got a couple new ones. Awilix, clap and wave. Alquang, clap and wave.
Oh, new Alquang.
You got him. All for you.
Buff fluffles. So we're going to be moving on to the miscellaneous,
Miscellaneous.
everyone. And we're not going to go completely in-depth on all of these items, everyone. The patch notes in full will be posted onto Reddit and to our forums as well. We fixed an issue with new users skipping the tutorial and feature pop-ups. What a shame, man. Don't want to skip that tutorial at all.
None of that.
Fixed an issue with in-world objective health bars not updating smoothly.
This is big, yeah.
That is big.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
So specifically what this references, guys, well, it references a lot of things, I guess. It affects a lot of things, but the most obvious kind of application is Hand of the Gods 3 has a percentage execute, and the bar turns yellow when you're able to do that. Should be more accurate to when it actually crosses that HP threshold. A lot of what you see in high-level Smite play is that the Guardians are able to steal away objectives because there's actually a very small window in which the bar has not updated, but you can execute the target. Hopefully that's closed up a little bit. It's a little more accurate.
Oh, fair enough. We've added a few other things. We added Russian, Polish, and Turkish fonts. Fonts, all right.
Yeah, the Cyrillic alphabet is in.
Nice. Numerous co-op AI improvements for new player experience. I added a high-res animated logo. Oh, nice.
Wow, we fancy now.
We are very fancy. And just a few other changes and quick little things.
Yeah, there's some smoothing stuff going on, and there's some hitching issues that have been sorted. Some issues with parties as well that have been fixed out. So a lot of great animated fixes. As you see, the animated logo fixed. Looks snappy. Thank you for that. Lower third.
Nice. There's changes with Spectator as well. I don't know if you want to go over in depth with that.
Let's talk about Spectator changes. So these are going to be generally bug fixes and general improvements. A lot of this is very targeted, of course, at the Smite World Championship experience coming in January. So we'll go through them quickly. Switch locations of actives and consumables in the HUD. So the consumables are now next to the God portraits at the top. The actives are down where you can see them a bit better. You can spectate players that are already in the match lobby now, which is a bug fix. New off fog performance. It was actually kind of shaky.
Jittery.
That's been cleaned up. There's a timetable now that's clickable, which means that you can bring up a timeline of the game with little hash marks for when stuff happened and go back in time to look at those. Some team name display changes, camera height adjustments, collision turned on when in free cam. Fix an issue that caused the game state text to clear in opening settings. And finally, fix an issue where gods switching stances did not update the ability icons on the player information card.
Oh, what a shame.
All of that now working for you, the lovely viewer.
Fantastic. Well, now we're going to be going on to God balance changes and updates, everyone. And it looks pretty...
The Kwang!
Looks all right.
So, the Kwang has a couple of changes here. Nerfs in this patch, as it were.
What a surprise.
So, here's the developer note on Alquang. We love that Alquang is an all-in style melee mage. That's really what you want to kind of highlight here. His burst potential was too high with his projectile version of his 2. So you summon the dragons, you could shoot them out. They would do half damage and scaling. However, it was still working out to a tremendous amount of damage.
Yeah, like 900 damage at late game?
I hit a ROM for 1,420 damage. So anyway, what this means is that he was able to safely do damage from range. Well, he kind of closed the distance. He used his 3 and it was getting targets in execute range, where he was less all in than perhaps we wanted him to be. We want him to have to get in there and find the opportunities through positioning and kind of
high risk,
awareness.
high reward.
Yeah, exactly. Get in there and go whack, 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 right? Do your damage and then use your execute instead of being able to have burst.
Okay.
So specifically here, you see the Dragon Call has had its power scaling reduced, and the range damage has come down as well by about 5 per rank starting, but scaling up a bit as well. So there's also a fix in this patch to clean up his passive, specifically a fix against Kumbhakarna. It would just put him to sleep instead of actually executing him. So fixed that as well. And then the passive changed a bit. Using energy to cast an ability in place of mana, it will no longer consume 2 energy charges. So when an ability required 1 energy charge to fire to do extra damage, He also passive states that he can cast without using mana. It was consuming 2 charges when it could, so now it will no longer do that. It's just 1 all the time.
Fantastic. Aphrodite, Arachne have VGS and voice pack pickup lines changes and added onto it. Artemis fixed an issue with her hair not showing white on the Convention 2012 skin.
Please.
Cabrakan, Seismic Crush updated tooltips on that and the Refraction Shield. Chunga's Waxing Moon updated tooltip with that. Kumbhakarna, as you said, fixed an issue where the Alquang would execute and bypass the Sleepy.
Yes.
Issues with incorrect value for Neith's World Weaver. Naja's tooltip has been updated for his Armillary Sash, and now changes to Nox. Bart, take it away.
Wow, you just crushed that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
great job in that
does anyone care that tooltips have been updated?
Maybe.
All right. Well.
All right, Nox. So, we'll go through the changes, and we'll talk about kind of maybe why. So, first change, her passive has changed from the kind of clear cast mana conservation-based passive to she gets percentage damage mitigation based on number of candles lit. So, yeah, and once you take damage, they get blown out. That's 1 at a time. So up to 60% damage mitigation, and then they start getting blown out 1 at a time as you take damage. A little bit more tankiness for her. So let's talk about the changes to the rest of her ability. So first up, Shadow Barrier. This is her number 1. This is her shield. So the damage reduction is now 90% at all ranks. The barrier duration increased from 1 second to 2. And the cooldown has gone down from 18 to 14, scaling with rank.
Okay.
So this is a very, very effective ability now. Before, it was not quite as good. The cooldown reduction helps out a lot, as well as the extended duration. Remember, it does make you immune to slows and cripples. It's kind of coupled with some nerfs to her lane clear. So Nightfall Raven, which is her number 2, has its damage reduced on the top end especially, but not by a lot. And the silence duration has gone up. So more silence, less damage out of this ability, which is just more control for this mage that, you know, is very much a kind of poking edge of the damage range you kind of want to be at in and out. Longer silence to do more things. Siphon Darkness, this is her 3. Mana cost has gone to flat $50 ranks, and the damage has been reduced down as well. So to 2 and to 3 did get nerfed.
Nice.
Now, the reason that you see all of that is because her ultimate Night Terror has been buffed. And really the big change to this ability and the big buff to this ability is that it no longer will have any of the linking mechanics. So you no longer have to stay within range of your target to get it. It's now a single target, or well, it's actually multi-target. It's a line projectile that will apply the ultimate effect to the target that you hit. Basically, it goes a little bit faster. It goes a little bit further. It now also will last for 5 seconds and will stun guaranteed for 1 second at the end of that 5 seconds on the target that you've hit.
So it's a little bit of an opposite change that we saw with Alquang, that instead of having her be closer and like a bit more in like risk, she's now a bit safer to play, which seems appropriate with her kit because
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right on. You're right on. Yeah, the exact opposite of Alquang. Alquang wanted him to be closer more often, wanted him to be more risky. Nox needed to be a little less risky. What I was seeing at least, was Noxes that were doing really well were going like even. Like they had a lot more deaths than a normal mage that you would see that was doing that well. And a lot of that is that she was forced to stay so close to the fight to really maximize the use of her ultimate until hyper late game, where just the scaling alone on the initial application was what was carrying her through that stage. So let's go through a little bit here of the kind of the dev insight into why we made this change. So big changes for Nox. So Nox was capable of dealing large amounts of magic damage, but the leash component of her ultimate exposed her to just too much fatal situations, right? You were always dying trying to really make use of that ultimate. So we wanted to give her a chance to sit at her range, right? Control the spacing, control the fight how she wanted to, and have a bit more survivability doing it. So basically, you have this long delayed stun. You still have that dealing damage to them when they cast, but then you have a guaranteed stun 5 seconds later. It guarantees setups for your 2 and your 3 if you want it. It also has a lot of interesting synergies with gods like Kumbha and Naja that have multi-second banishes. So you can apply the ultimate, Naja ult them, they go up in the sky, when they come down, then they get stunned again. You know, so there's some more interactions you can have. Also, and her passive kind of yields a little bit towards making that 1 a little bit more powerful. So the 1 plus the passive makes her quite tanky for short bursts.
All right, fair enough. Osiris, Lord of the Afterlife, is now CC immune during the entire leap, not just the casting time, which is a little bit of a buff for Osiris. Not a huge change.
I think I want to say that this is directly because of the mechanic that was added for Awilix. So you didn't want an ultimate to get countered, like an ultimate leap to get countered by this anti-leap ability. So the ultimate leaps will be CC immune for the full duration, which is like Tyr's Lawbringer.
All right, and Serket is getting a little bit of a nerf. Her Cobra's Kiss reduced the madness duration from 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and 2 to the max rank ending at 1.4. So a 0.3 or 0.6 second reduction. That's around what, like 30-ish%? That's
So a couple of things read into that. 1.4 seconds was the first hit. If you hit him with both, it was actually turning into about a, now it'll end up being about maybe a 1.6 and a half, 1.7 second stun. Before you were looking at like maybe 2.3 seconds you were getting out of applying it twice. So it was actually a really long duration CC. And basically just allowed her to dump her whole kit into a single target before they could react without beads. And we think that this change makes her rely a little bit more heavily on positioning, which she is really good at repositioning herself, one of the most mobile characters in the game. So using her poison, using her mobility to secure the kills over having really, really good single target, mostly single target CC. Yeah, it was long. It was just really long duration, and a lot of that was to kind of set up that situation where you could have two targets fight each other, right? But I think kind of as this god has progressed and as people have really learned to use her, that's less desirable. It's generally used just to kill one person, so a little bit less power there.
All right, fair enough. Scylla changes to her little red skin, target improvement to team coloring. Uller switch stance, fix some issues with him getting stuck in a previous stance. Vamana is actually getting a nerf. His reduced physical power during his ultimate is reducing from 40 to 140, from 40 to 100. So 40 physical power reduced from his ultimate.
Yes, so a normal damage item in Smite that's not a stacking item for physicals is roughly 35 to 50 power, so about 40 power. Basically, it's removing one damage item out of his passive. So, basically, the idea here is that this just puts Vamana a little bit closer to where most of the other warriors have to itemize. That he's going to have to build an extra damage item to be a damager, or will have to build tanky items to be a tank. Just gives him a little bit more of specialization in his itemization, which is consistent with the rest of his class. So, top-end damage, hyper carry potential has gone down a little bit without damage items.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one. This is probably the most annoying god that I face in mid lane, and now practically in every lane. Vulcan is getting a nerf.
Vulcan is. So Vulcan's nerf is pretty targeted on the Magma Bomb.
Yes, which is well-deserved.
Probably the biggest change here is that this ability no longer stuns as it knocks up. So there's a couple of intricate interactions we'll talk about. The very obvious one is when you hit a knock-up immune god, for example, Thor while spinning in Berserker's Barrage. It used to stun him, stopping him in place, and then knock him up. Now, it will just deal damage because he is knock-up immune. Now, what this means in addition to that is that because the god is not getting stunned before they get knocked up, it will inherit their movement speed and vector just like a normal knock-up. So if someone's running away from you, hit him with a Hebo Water Spout, generally they will continue forward. Right? This will now be how the Vulcan Bomb acts. So it'll be a little bit less maybe reliable in certain situations to set up backfire. In addition to that, its range has gone down from 65 to 60 feet, which is just to help out a little bit of being able to punish this ability. It's really hard to punish Vulcan in the lane. And then finally, there's a ground target indicator for where it's going to land. So you get like an Agni Bomb, you get the little red circle that'll show up to show where it's going to be. So those three changes just kind of make this a little bit more fun to play against.
Yes.
I think.
So annoying.
We'll keep an eye on this. Obviously, Vulcan relied on this pretty heavily for peel. We'll see kind of exactly where this does get him to land. But our estimation is that there just wasn't really any way that you could counter a Vulcan. Like, it was just so hard to actually fight him. He was such a good poke mage and such a good self-peeler that something had to give. So
do you think that he's going to be less viable in these weird roles like ADC now, or do you think that he's going to be affected more in the mid and solo lane?
The mid lane, the solo lane definitely, the mid lane a little bit, and I think that it doesn't affect that much about his ADC capacity, besides the fact that it's a 5-foot nerf to the range of that ability, which could have some impact in the laning stage. But he wasn't necessarily using the knock-up, the true knock-up that went through knock-up immunity in the lane so much in that hunter role, so maybe not so much.
All right, that is it, everyone, for the god changes. Are we going to be taking a look at Awilix?
Yeah, we're going to move into the game client here. Let me make sure that everything is set up properly.
And nothing spoiled.
Yeah, mostly that it's just not too crazy loud. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop into Joust practice here, and I will select Awilix, and we'll take a look at her in totality. If you saw her yesterday, we'll be going through a little bit more in depth than what you saw in the dev preview. But let's go ahead and fire it away. If you'll be so kind, Master Kevin, to take us into the game, and here you see Awilix going up against the Robot, and away we go.
That Robot, man. What do you think? You're going to win?
No. I never win. Are you kidding? Don't you know what this is, Charlie?
Oh, yeah.
So, Awilix, let's just pick up just the boots too, kind of standard fun stuff here. And we'll grab a, whatever, a meditation. No, we grabbed that. That's a good item too. And more pods. Okay, away we go. 1, 2, 3. So, most important thing to think about when you're playing Awilix is, well, she summons a mount. And there it is. And you can run around on this thing. It makes you go faster moving forward. It makes you go quite slow when strafing or moving backwards at normal half speed. But this is, I believe, plus 30%. Let's take a look at this ability. So, Summon Suku. Awilix mounts her Panther, as you see here. She then has the option to leap off of the Panther, and she gets a bonus 25% movement speed with a 50% strafe penalty. And you can leap. I believe that the tooltip is actually, it's not 65 feet, it is 55 like normal. So, or you can cancel it by left-clicking, or I'm sorry, right-clicking and leave the Panther, but then you have to resummon it. And, well, that's what it looks like, but you get cooldown back.
I mean, this is definitely going to help her in, like, as a jungler and going to give her high mobility, being able to rotate more, being able to gank a lot easier. I mean, she's very fun. I like the fact that she has a bit of a different kit than
she's super fun to play, for sure. So we'll go into the next stage of her kit. You see that circle is coming out when I get into my hit progressions there. So what this is Feather Step. This ability basically makes me leap over the last target I hit, dealing bonus damage based on where I was in my attack progression.
Which is very appropriate for another one of her abilities.
That's right. We'll get to that in a second here, but what's important to notice is that you see the attack progression bonus. So when the circle is out, I'm going to do 2x that 180 you see there. It also will scale at 2x the rate. So you get very high scaling, lots of damage, and that's what that ability looks like. And it hits in an AoE, as you saw there. Let me go ahead and use my shell because
don't die.
It's a really I don't want to die to the robot.
Not this early.
So it seems like for me at least when playing this god that the best way to do it is to max the 2. It gives you nice bonus damage and it gives you pretty decent wave clear and honestly kill potential. As you'll see here, whack, whack, whack. I can just hit him, and as he tries to run for me, I can flip over him to reposition and get the kill. So just kind of that basic. As an in-hander that has strong mobility, is able to position herself effectively and use that flip to stick to her target, is a pretty potent character so far. And that is before we've seen the rest of her kit, so let's go ahead and continue on with that. I'll grab
someone just asked an interesting question into
what do they
chat. Ask? Does her 2 work on Merc's ult?
So the 2 has a 30-foot range. There is probably some like Loki assassinate interactions where you'll like ride with them. There probably is some cases where you'll do that, but the timing's gonna be very, very tight. It's not gonna be something that's reliable.
And as a heads up for everyone, the PTS will be open hopefully tomorrow, and you were able to check out all these changes as well as the new god Awilix. So if you guys want to check out the PTS, you can check it out on our website, SMITEgame.com.
So her number 3, as you saw there, is simply a line ability. It is Moonlight Charge. It does 70 damage, and well, it extends out the Moonlight Kitty. And most importantly, though, if the enemy is hit from behind, they are knocked up, is how this ability works. Looking at the damage, it's fairly modest, scaling up to 230, so it's not going to be necessarily a great wave clearing ability. But it does give you a little bit of extra when you're trying to clear a camp super duper fast. Her final ability, her ultimate, is Gravity Surge, which is a big attack speed and physical power buff. That's maybe the main thing to look at here, is it's a big self-steroid. What it also does is if a target is knocked up or leaping, it will pull the closest target, single target, to her, dealing damage to them when they land.
So she's going to be a great combo god, being able to charge in on someone, hit them, backflip behind them, do more damage, and then, while they're knocked up, ult them, and they do even more damage.
Yeah, she is very, very good at doing that specific thing you said. So let's...
that specific thing, nothing else.
So he's trying to run for me, and then I can pull him to me, as you saw there, and then flip over him, and it's a lot of damage. Now, that was done kind of at half speed. You can actually fire that combo off really, really, really fast. So you can kind of see just how effective this god can be. I'll kind of give it the old college try here versus the robot. We'll see if we can.
So what's her passive?
Her passive is that when she's out of combat, if she gets the first hit entering into combat, she gains a physical power bonus for a couple of seconds.
Like old RPGs.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, if you have, let's see, what you would probably build either like a Jotun. Pen items seem to be very, very good on her. Flat power and pen items because of the bonuses from this ability. But yes, her passive is 40% for 2.5 seconds in this build. Remember, guys, none of these numbers are necessarily final, but it is basically you'll get a percentage power bonus for a couple of seconds once you leave combat. So let's go ahead and...
Did you buy her voice pack?
I did.
Nice.
Nope, I did not. I lied. It was Brad's fault. Brad told me not to do it.
Brad.
I don't know why he'd do it either. So let's see. Let's go ahead and reset our cooldowns here.
Do you think chin size is going to be appropriate on her?
I think as an in-hander, she is okay. I think there's 2 ways to build this god. flat power based, similar to a Loki, or in-hand based, similar to a Kali, with her stim being so strong. You could kind of get away with that style.
Hyris Chris just posted in chat that the voice pack is still being worked on. There are some improvements we are still making.
Well, there you go. Great job, Chris. You saved the day.
And reminder, again, everyone, if you're just joining right now, if you're looking for the newer Odyssey skins, that is going to be revealed on Monday.
It is. That's right. Monday is the big reveal show for the rest of the stuff. So here I'm gonna fire off. So you can see my passive is active now with that purple glow to it. So let's see if I can make a play here onto the robot. Nope. Here we go. Come here, buddy.
I'm very.
Oh, really? That detonated on me? Well, I was trying to get him to turn around, but he's backpedaling and in-handing me. It wouldn't be a reveal if I didn't die to robot at least once, would it, Kelly?
At least
be honest
once.
with yourself.
At least.
All right, let's go try this again. He just knew that was the right time to stand his ground.
Oh yeah,
and fight me.
he just auto attacked you a bunch.
It's really
and you were just tanking 6 minions.
It's really well made, Kelly. The AI is extremely effective. All right, come here, you. Let's see here. That didn't hit. That wasn't behind him. What is his life? Oh, maybe. Oh, I need to stop playing off the freaking TV and play off my monitor. I'm like, there's all this delay. Like, how am I supposed to do this?
There's a TV right in front of us to see the feedback for our stream.
All right, here we go.
Bart's been staring at that instead of his computer screen. Were you staring at the TV for that too?
No, I quit. It's good. She's good at video games. She's a good god to pick her. She's fun. That's all I got for you.
Hey, you hit that one. Max range too. Nice.
No, Rob, please.
God, I hope he just snipes you.
Here we go. I'm doing it.
Yeah? Is this it? He just juked you.
Dude,
and
he just
stared at you.
Stutter steps.
Just so slyly.
Who made this? All right, let's take a look at some of the skins here.
Man, that was a pro move from him. And he just meme mugged
you after it. Is it not Buccaneer? Did I misspell Buccaneer?
It's Neith something. It's like Neith is in the word. We need to work on our pun game, man.
Is our pun game not strong?
No. Oh, that's right.
Buccaneer. Oh, that's right. We're not showing them. Ha 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 ha.
Oof.
Damn, not showing them, boys. Well, yeah. So there's your Awilix. You saw the god cards as well. I guess we can switch back. We can switch to Blood Moon Awilix. I'm allowed to do that.
Nice. I'm glad you didn't know how to spell Buccaneer, because
I am too.
I've been in trouble.
I thought it was Buccaneer, not Buccaneer. So here is your red recolor. We'll take a look.
Oh, look at the Panther!
Yeah, go ahead and rank up a little bit here. And buy boots. And go see if we can actually kill the robot. I doubt it, though. He's just a little too strong for me.
Is she also going to say you move like a jaguar? Only in this skin, though.
She just is a jaguar. She rides him.
Can you do the impression?
The what impression?
What do you mean, what impression?
That's Strybear. That's not me. Did you get us confused?
I mean, he does have a big forehead, and you are balding, so you know.
What is this?
Yo, he is wrecking you.
The jukes on this guy are out of control, dude. Look, like, just gonna stop here? Yeah, hold on. Let me just check.
He realizes that you're not a threat, so he's gonna go back to the tower.
Clearly.
He ain't scared of you. Ooh. I like it. I like combo-based gods. It feels more of an action game with like when you combo your abilities one after another to, perform some kind of like combination, which is a combo obviously.
So there's a couple ways to fire that off. You can actually flip over them before they land, which is pretty gnarly. So when Robot respawns, I'll go ahead and fire that one off on him if I can catch him. He's wily, this Robot. He's really good.
Yeah.
That's snipe. Like the positioning, it's just insane. All right, you gonna turn around, buddy? You gonna turn around now? Just gonna stand and fight? Like, who does that?
If you die.
Nope. I'm out. Later. Well, there you go. There's your Awilix. There's a lot of burst damage you can do. You can put out probably a quick 1,000 damage pretty easily here with this character. So she's gonna be an effective assassin, certainly.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited for her and to see how she's played. Is she going to be played at the World Championships?
No. Awilix will not be available for play at the World Championships.
But Ao Kwang will be.
Ao Kwang will be available for play. That's correct.
Huh. All right. Interesting.
Yep. And that does conclude the patch notes for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed Robot as he continues to outsmart me, passing the Turing test.
Not very difficult.
What a player. What a player, what a game. Thank you for joining us, guys. For Hyris Kelly, I am Bart, and that concludes your patches for today. Join us again on Monday, where we're taking a look at all of the upcoming content from the Odyssey. Much love and have a great rest of your Friday. Pon Pon up next to break this down for you. Au revoir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Gandhi, joined by Pon Pon.
Yes.
How are you, buddy?
I'm actually doing really good today.
Yeah.
Got coffee going through me.
Yeah, I got a lot too. There's a bunch of cool stuff going on here. But so after the patch notes, we normally do a little bit of patch notes analysis, and normally that's just me talking to Pon after he's done with the show. So I was like, you know what? I might as well ask you the questions anyways.
Exactly.
But what's the first thing that jumps out to you from this patch?
The biggest thing that jumps out to me is Nox. Nox, huge overhauling stuff. Changes to every single one of their skills. And so really Nox is going to become more... She was kind of this poke mage that had this weird kit where it's like, I have a shield where I want to get into a fight, and I have an ultimate that I want to get into a fight, but I have poke skills. And so now with the ultimate not being bound, you can just put it on a target and it'll stay on them forever. You don't need to stay close. And the shield lasting longer, she's now fully committed to this whole poke style, and she's probably going to be very viable.
Now, what did you think about the change in the ultimate, right? Because you can link up to 3 people now. Was that like, oh, this is going to be really good? Or is this like, how am I going to position myself to kind of get the best of it?
So it's just going to be overall better for Nox players. Nox players traditionally could only link to 1 target. Now you have more of an impact on the team fight. And being able to hit 3 people means that, like, it's kind of on par with stuff like Ares, right? Where with Ares ultimates, it's going to pop some cooldowns. If Nox ultimates hits multiple people, people are going to blow cooldowns. And that's really kind of what she needed.
Yeah, I think the shield's probably the most interesting, right? Because, like, at the beginning, it's going to be like, oh, who's going to pop this shield?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so now the shield lasts. It's 90% at all ranks, so rank 1, it's super useful. And it's going to go down cooldown as you level it up, and it's just going to be longer lasting, so you don't have to be super split decision with when you need to pop it. But now you can eat things like Ao Kuang, or not Ao Kuang ultimates, Kukulkan ultimates.
You get that right.
Oh man, Raw ultimates, Hebo ultimates, any of the hyper mage ultimates that normally would just crush you instantly, you can absorb almost all that damage.
For me, we're going to go ahead and switch down here. For me, I think Vamana's change was like, come on, man. I love Big Baby. That's like my free ELO, right? Like Colossal Fury, free 150, just crush it.
Well, Big Baby, the big issue with Big Baby was it was just this like crazy hyper. All of a sudden, I'm going to hit you really hard. 1 crit item is devastating, and you just see like Vamana all of a sudden come online, and in 1 team fight would just kill 3 people. So now the damage isn't as free, but he still has a lot of build options. He's naturally tanky. He gets some power from protections. He still gets that power from his ultimate. I don't think this is going to bring him down out of his current status of probably one of the top warriors, if not the top warrior.
Now, does it make him a little bit more vulnerable in the solo lane versus, different matchups that he has, since the ultimate isn't kind of like, okay, now I'm huge and you're screwed?
Really, the ultimate, especially in lane, was never really used as a kind of kill tool. If you were going to kill a target, you're probably going to kill them anyway. The big baby wasn't the kind of the big thing. It might be for CC immunity. I don't think the damage is going to matter. And in terms of survivability, that survivability didn't get hit at all. So really, all it's going to do is that mid-game team fight transition is he's not going to be as potent as he currently is, and that was kind of just where he was being too dominant.
Now another V who I think we have all had a great time dealing with, really since the European regional event, I would say, has really when he came to life. We've seen a little bit of him before, but it's Vulcan, right? Yeah. Now, Vulcan, the biggest problem with land, I remember I came in and I said, Pon, how do I play against Vulcan? You were like, I don't think you do.
Yeah, you hope that he misses the magma bombs, and that's all you can really hope for. There are a few characters that had that knock-up immunity, but you could never actually use it because one of the small things about it is it had this micro stun, so it would stun you before it actually did the knockback effect, and that did two things. One, if you were like Thor spinning, you would stop spinning and you would become knockback vulnerable. It also meant that you lost your momentum, and so if knockbacks like Hippo's knock up, if you're running towards him and you knock up, he'll continue running towards you. Whereas with Vulcan, what would happen is it'd stun you, stop you, and then toss you back based off the center point, which means it became a lot safer of a tool. Like, so if you were stopping someone running towards you, you'd send them back rather than towards you. So
it wasn't momentum-based at all. It was kind of like, here you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And so that's kind of a twofold nerf there. It also, we lost a little bit of range. I don't think that's that impactful. But now we also have a targeter. And a targeter is just it's quicker visual information for the player that, oh, I need to get out of here. And I know exactly where the range is. So how's the targeter work? So when he uses it, a little spot will appear on the ground that shows the radius, and if you're standing in it, you're going to get hit.
So Dodge City.
Yep, you can dodge it now. You know exactly where you need to move to dodge it. So more information, harder to hit, more counters. Will this knock Vulcan out of viability? Probably not. He'll just be kind of more of a... You won't want to pick him into someone like Thor, because a Thor jungle would probably destroy you now, where before it didn't really.
So traditionally, we've kind of seen, like, Vulcan gets picked either in the mid lane or possibly in the solo lane or even the hunter role if you're Snoopy. And really, Vulcan's just insane no matter where he's played. You can even take him into the jungle if you really want to.
Yeah,
I'm sure he works his support. I'm sure he works his support too.
Probably.
Why not, right? But the big thing here is, do you think he's going to be in that first pick ban phase?
Well, I think the reason why he was there is because there's really no counter to him. Now there's counters to him, so if you pick him, you're putting yourself kind of in a vulnerable position. I still think he'll be good. You're going to be looking more to see him maybe as a third pick or in the bottom picks.
Okay.
Because now you know, okay, they don't have any of the strong counters. They don't have any of the knockback immunities. We're safe here.
So save him for last.
Yes.
Now the next one here, she's a mobile little one.
Yes.
She's
oh, Sircat.
Oh, Sircat. How dare you?
I
just want to go on the record and say that the Mez at 2 seconds max rank. What? I didn't know it. Like, what do you do?
It was an incredibly long, essentially hard CC that you couldn't get out of. You could potentially CC 2 people, and it was just kind of really potent, especially late game when she can kill you in that window. Now, I think if you time her combo right, you actually can get out of the Mez before everything lands, and so you can react a little bit quicker. I don't think this is really going to do much, though, because really Sircat was probably going to kill you anyway. And so I don't think this nerf, it's going to, obviously it'll hurt her a little bit, but while she still has her crazy mobility, she still has her crazy damage, she still has a lot of her setup tool, and when she gets beads in Yotun, she's nigh uncatchable. I don't think this is really going to hurt her enough to like bring her down to where she probably needs to be. Although I don't think she's that broken to begin with, so.
Oh really? You're on that side of the fence.
I think it's unique to have a character that is that mobile, and in terms of just raw damage potential, until super late game, it's not that big of an issue, and you can probably shut her down before then. She probably does need a little bit of tweaking. I'm not saying she's not like a little bit strong. I don't think she's as broken as everyone cries.
So now with Sircat, right? We said like it probably didn't bring her down to the level where we think she probably should be, in your words. Do you think now there will be as big of a priority to ban Sircat?
Probably not. I think there's going to be stronger picks available. I mean, you still have... I think as you see, some of these characters got brought down a little bit, like Vulcan, Osiris, or, well, not Osiris. He got actually a buff.
As he should. Osiris is the man.
Vulcan, Vamana, Circuit getting these small little nerfs here and there, I think you're going to see kind of a rise of the tanky mage again. So you have like the Zhong Kui coming up, and he has his own set of counters and Nemesis. So I would predict Circuit's probably still going to be on the ban table occasionally, especially against like certain comps, but not as free. Like it's not just a guaranteed ban anymore, I don't think.
All right, the last major one here is the man of the dragons. I was going to say the man of the jungle, and
well, he pretty much is.
I guess, yeah. I saw the cat, and I was like, oh, it's Jungle Cat.
Yep, Jungle Cat.
But Ao Guang, Dragon Call, finally getting nerfed. What's this going to do to his clear time? Because I think that's the big question a lot of people have.
So his clear time is really more dependent on... So his early game clear doesn't get really affected here at all. His melee power scaling, he doesn't have any power at the start if he's getting Bumbas. Doesn't really hurt him. He's not even going to start really noticing it until probably the mid game, and by then you have your 3 leveled up.
Okay.
Your 3 is very low cooldown, very quick clear. I don't see this hurting him clear too much. All it does is really stop kind of the late game burst that Ao Guang had with like 2 auto attacks, 3 auto attack throughout rest of your dragons that would instantly kill people. That, especially combined with the base dragon nerf, is going to kind of stop that. So he's going to have to be a little more tactical, maybe poke down a little bit first, look for more opportunities, not just to 100-0 someone.
Okay.
So I think this is a good spot. He was already kind of an interesting character in my opinion because whenever I ganked with him, he was always super squishy, and so you'd kind of be
super strong.
Super strong, but like you'd eat some minion damage on your first gank, and so if I was like Thor, for example, if I was Thanatos, if I was Mercury, when I ganked, I'd feel a little bit healthier, so I could go invade a little bit more. And as Ao Guang, I never really had that. So I think now that he's going to get toned down a little bit, I would expect him to still stay positive, still be really strong. But I don't know if he's going to have the capability of closing out a game.
So you still think 2 is going to be the priority, though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 2 is going to be the priority. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, 1, probably.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now on to the new, the goddess, Awilix. Now
probably my favorite.
Have we come up with a way to? Are we set on like Awilix?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously PTS is going to happen.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens in PTS. But as of now, I think she's pretty much looking pretty set where she is, and she has a lot of really cool stuff.
All right. So let's go ahead and start off with the passive here, Pawn. I like the passive. You know, you're out of combat for a while. You're going to do a little bit more damage with it. I think that's an interesting ability to have in there. But the one thing that you pointed out to me is the combo potential of Awilix, and I think that's very, very important to showcase.
Yep, knock up. There's a few combos you actually have.
Hey!
So
my voice squeaked.
So Awilix actually has a few combo potentials, and pretty much it all revolves around coming off the cat and a gank. So like, for example, if I were to come out of a gank, jump in front of the target, auto attack 2, flip over, and then you would knock up ult. Obviously, Odin can't even withstand the wrath here. But so I think really the thing that's going to be hard for people to master is what to do, actually how to execute the combo, getting behind. And really it's just going to come down to quickly reacting, oh, I'm behind, so I'm going to do this. And you can auto attack, flip over, knock up, pull. You can do a knock up into a flip pull, which is my favorite thing. If Odin would actually go forward.
He didn't want to, man.
No, he did not want to.
He was
at
just
all.
like, you know, Pawn, I'm so tired of you.
Yeah,
Killed
that
me so
combo
many
right
times.
there.
That combo's gnarly.
And there are so many characters that actually work up with, like Geb, for example. Geb is a very guaranteed knock-up. Neith backflipping. You can very easily predict when Neith is going to backflip. This adds a lot of counterplay to a lot of leapers, on top of essentially the cripple. And so we've noticed a few times, though, if there isn't someone to, like, leap, she has, like, if you pick gods that don't leap, there's, like, a significant weakness there because you just can't really... This 3 is a lot harder to guarantee than it looks. Especially if you're against a player that's moving around, you can auto-attack, flip over them, and then all of a sudden, like, they're still facing you, or they turn to follow you because you have that travel time.
So now, with that saying, if you're going against a Awilix, are you just going to have your head on a swivel, hitting 180s on the rag?
You got to turn that mouse sensitivity up. You got to make sure you're facing.
You think you actually think we'll see a change in settings? No.
No. I don't think so. But if you can't turn around fast enough, you're going to be at a severe disadvantage. And so it's actually really fun. She's this very mobile, hard to catch, hard to pin down combo character that I think is a lot of people will have fun with her, and she has a really, really high skill cap. Yeah,
I think MLC Stealth is going to have to sell his little 6x6 cartoon drawing mouse pad so you can actually get a full-size one with the Awilix now. But now, the one thing that's interesting is, so you mount your Panther, right, and you're kind of strafing around. It's really all about the mouse because the strafe is just so slow.
Yeah, pretty much. So
what did you just do?
So you can knock up multiple targets, but only pulls up the first one.
Okay.
So that's just a kind of an interesting thing to note. So that's kind of a thing you need to be aware of.
Okay, go through that again.
Okay, so knock up, and then you ult.
Oh.
You'll catch your target. So you'll catch only the closest one, which means if someone knocks up a support, and you pull the enemy Sylvanas right into your team, and everyone dies, people are going to be probably mad. So it's not. So you have to be very careful with who are you actually pulling on this knockup, especially if like it's on someone else's knockup.
Sweet Mother of Mary.
But the damage is quite crazy. She's very strong. I've been having tons of fun.
All right, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of a theory craft here, Pod. So what do you think in the jungle? What are you thinking you're gonna build on it? Just real quick.
So really quick, it's gonna be pretty much the standard jungle build: Bumbas, Pen Boots, Yotunes. So with Yotunes, very low cooldowns already. The more cooldowns you get, the better. And she also scales really well with power because of her first strike. Her penetration is really good because all of her bases are really high. And then after that, I'm not sure where you'd want to go. I think the biggest thing you'd want, if you're ahead, you want to start getting survivability from the Magi's and then continue on your damage. Or maybe just continue on your damage with like a Brawler's Beat Stick or a Titan's Bane.
Okay, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here on the, I guess, the patch notes analysis?
Yeah, patch notes analysis.
It's so funny how I'm on, like, the theory crafting and the analysis portion of it.
Oh, this is all the stuff that I love doing.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying for me, though, right?
Yes.
It's like, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Coming up next, we'll have a streamer, so stay tuned.